Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we are continuing work on our '09 Jeep Wrangler. If you guys have been following along, this is Jeep month. We have quite a bit of work on this, so it's gonna cover all month repairs. But either way, for those of you that aren't familiar and maybe you're just watching this because you want to know how to do this, we have a '09 Jeep Wrangler 3.8 liter V6, around 120,000 miles on it. Today we're tackling the rear shocks. Now I've already done the passenger side. I'm going to show everyone on the driver's side, and it's actually pretty straightforward. It's really easy, and you could do this on most of these Jeeps, and it's the same on both sides in the rear. So with that said, less talk, more doing. Let's get to it. So we have our Jeep in the air. The rear wheels are off, as you probably don't even really need to do that, but we had them off because we were doing something else. Either way, what you're going to want to do first is support your rear differential somehow. I like using this jack hoist or jack stand, whatever it's called, and I'm not going to go ahead and lift on it. Just put enough pressure on there to hold your rear axle, because sometimes when you remove your shock, it could drop a little bit. This spring sometimes can pop out and hit you, or worse, so just be safe. If you're doing this on your garage floor, you could always put a jack underneath here and just, gently touch it until it stops. You don't need to load it up. Unloaded should be good enough. So with that done, let me take everyone to what we're going to be attacking now. There's going to be two bolts, or two parts to this. Maybe this bottom bolt and nut that we have down here. Now I have been spraying this with some PB Blaster. This truck's been on my lift here for a few days now, so those are definitely softened up. And then if we take a stroll up here, let me get some lighting. I don't know how well you guys are going to see, but we have our top shock bolt there, and if you peek on the other side, we have that one right over there that we're going to be messing around with. It should be pretty straightforward. I don't anticipate this video to be really that long, but yeah, you never know. Maybe something breaks, like a bolt, and then we're fighting it. So I believe this should be the best angle to get everyone in. And where we're going to begin is up top. Now I'm going to be using this extension. Let me hold this right. A pretty decent extension. I want to say like a medium length. I don't know the inches on it, but maybe 6-inch. And then we have that paired with our 16 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead and take it and put it on our Milwaukee. Now these should come off fairly easy, I hope. And the main reason why these are coming off easy, even though this thing does have some rust on it, we are in the Rust Belt. We definitely aren't in Florida or anything like that. But the reason why these come off easily is, one, this vehicle has lived in a garage, but secondly, I've been hitting these every day, twice a day, since this truck's been on my lift, and that's the hardware right there. It comes off like butter. And the reason why I know me penetrating it works is because on the driver's side, when it came down to this lower one, as soon as I brought the vehicle in, I tried taking it off with this very same gun setup, and it didn't want to budge on the on the passenger side. And now that I did the passenger side already, it came off like butter, and look how easy this is going to come off. And I haven't touched these guys. This is real time here. Still rusty, but a whole lot better. Like, it comes off. Like, I don't mind a little bit of rust as long as it comes off. So now that we have that off, let's make sure we got everyone here in the frame correctly. What I like to do is just push up a little bit and pull off your shock, and then we are going to throw that in the land of the trash bin or scrap pile. So now that we have that, grab your new shock absorber. The top is going to look like this, two little ear channels where those two bolts go onto, and then we have a bushing and an eyelet down here. Notice I didn't take off the factory band yet, because we're going to utilize that. I don't know why people are so fancy to remove that right away and fight it. Use it to your advantage. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get our bottom bolt back in here, and be careful so the shock doesn't whack you in the face. And then what I'm going to do is just start this bottom bolt here. I'm not going to tighten it all the way yet. Just want to get it in there. And this part, I'm going to try to film for everyone. So let me get you on the right angle. So we are zoomed in, and this is where we need to have this go. As we can see, we got our band on it. So what I'm gonna do now is take my good old pocket knife here. We're going to cut that band, and we should see this shock starting to come up. And it'll move kind of slow here. Let's see if we can get it to go. There she goes. And all right, well, that went to crap really quick. Anyway, that's not what you're supposed to do, in case you're wondering. This needed to go here. When I cut the band, the shock didn't go up right away. I kind of had to push it up, and then it started going up. And I thought I was supposed to go here instead of here. But basically, keeping the band on there is so you can position it, and then you cut it, and you just ride up where you need to be. So you can avoid doing what I'm about to do, which sucks. So now that you guys saw my blunder, what we're going to do is just take this and move it. It's not the end of the world. It's better when stuff goes according to plan. And what I think I have to do on this one too here is I think I'm gonna have to flip this around. Yep, there you go. Be mindful. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but when I had it flipped the other way, it wasn't sitting flat. It was kind of at an angle. I had to flip it around 360 to the correct flat sides, if you want to call it that. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take one of our bolts right here, and let's see if we can get this other one here. Now there is a lot of rust flying out of here, so if you're working on this on your own vehicle, be mindful of rust. Sometimes I wish I was in Florida. If anyone has a line on a shop for sale in Florida, let me know. I may be considering, especially getting away from all this stuff, all the weather, and let's see all the crazy stuff happening in the city nowadays. Wouldn't be bad. Time for a change, I guess. But I'll keep everyone posted if something happens. But anyway, what we're gonna do now is we got them hand threaded. We're gonna go ahead and just ugga-dugga this on. So about a few ugga-duggas there. I don't know, whatever my 3/8 gun can do is all you really need. And I'm sure I'm blocking the view now. And we are nice and tight. So now it's time to tighten up our bottom bolt. Now that we have our top done, it's gonna be as simple as just coming down here and tightening up our final bolt. Once we get that tightened up, all we really have to do is remove our jack here, and you'll notice that our old shocks are pretty weak because these are actually pushing down on the axle. We didn't pressurize it at all, and there was quite a bit of pressure on it there. So now these new shocks can work and do their job. So that is pretty much it. That is how to do a shock in the rear and how not to do it by me screwing up there. But again, not the end of the world. Pretty simple to fix if that were to happen. It just sucks I wasn't able to show you the ideal way to do it because I already have the other side on. Otherwise I could snippet that one. But we'll leave it at that. Alright, so we are all set and done. We have done our rear shocks on it. We threw the tires on it. She's ready to roll. So basically pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You could do these on most of the Jeeps. They're pretty much all similar when they have just a regular shock setup like this does. Just make sure you have a jack or something to keep your axle up. As you saw, it will change the pressure on it, and you want to keep that spring from hitting you in the face or something if that were to happen. So overall, pretty quick, simple, and easy. And the best thing I would say, learn from this video, is that learn from my mistake of when I cut that. You saw, you mechanics, you make mistakes, but you know what? We fix them, and it is what it is. And I don't mind showing my screw-ups. It was a funny one. I don't know why. As soon as I cut that thing, it wasn't going, and I pushed up, and it was like, doo doo doo, and I was like, oh crap. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully this video helps you guys out. Like always, comment, like, and subscribe because it definitely helps the channel grow. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next video.